Hello everyone. Let us continue our discussion about Python function arguments in this video. In the last video, we talked about the four types of function arguments: positional arguments, keyword arguments, position only arguments, and keyword only arguments. Now it's time to talk about the remaining two types, that is arbitrary arguments and optional parameters. Let us get started with the arbitrary or variable length arguments. These arguments allow you to pass an arbitrary number of positional or keyword arguments to a function. It means we can pass any number of arguments to the function. Let me show you with an example. In this function, we can pass 3 arguments, 5 arguments, or even 10 arguments. And all these arguments are collected in a parameter args. Please note this parameter is prefixed with star, and internally all the values which are passed to the function will be collected into the args. The type of args will be a tuple. Since it is a tuple, the individual argument passed will be accessible as index 0, 1, 2. Let me try to run the application and you see the result. Here, the args is internally a tuple and all positional parameters passed are accessible with 0 base index. Args 0 is 1, args 1 is 2, and args 2 is 3. You may give any name to this parameter. Instead of args, you may write it numbers or anything else as per your choice. As we can have variable number of positional arguments, we can also have variable number of keyword arguments. These keyword arguments parameter name is prefixed with double star. Let me show you another example for this. Here the function 2 is called with multiple keyword arguments, and all of them are collected into quarks prefixed with double star. Internally, this quarks will be a dictionary where keys will be the names of parameter, that is first, second, and third, and values in the dictionary will be actual argument values 1, 2, 3. If you want to access the individual arguments, you can access it using dictionary syntax, quarks first, second, third. You can run the application and see the output. If you want, you can combine variable length, positional, as well as keyword arguments together in a same function. Let me show you the next example, where args is collection of variable length positional arguments and quarks is a collection of variable length keyword arguments. Again, args will be internally a tuple and quarks will be internally a dictionary. We can access the positional arguments with the index and the keyword arguments with the key syntax of dictionary. Let us run this and see the output. One more point to remember: the positional arguments must be given before keyword arguments while calling the function, as well as in the function header. Now, I guess you have understood the concept of variable length arguments. This concept you will see in many of the Python built-in libraries. Now we can go ahead with the next concept, which is nothing but optional parameters. These optional parameters are also called as default arguments. The default value for these parameters are given in function header. Let me show you with the example. Again, we can go back to our old print info function. However, in this function, name and age are the regular parameters, non-optional parameter, while I have provided default values for ADDR and email. So if a function is called with all the arguments, the values will be collected in the respective parameters. Like James Bond will be collected into name, 65 will be collected into age, address will be London, and email will be james@bond.com, because we have passed all arguments explicitly. Let me run it and show you. Right? However, passing the optional parameter is optional during function call. Let us see the example where we are passing only name and age, and address and email is not passed. Now this name and age will be collected into respective arguments, while address and email will be taking the default values earth and not available. Let me run it and show you the output. Right? The address is taken as earth and email is taken as not available. Note that you can pass the arguments as positional, as well as you may prefer to pass it as a keyword arguments. The optional parameters must be written after non-optional parameters in function header. So you cannot write the default value for certain arguments and then keep the compulsory arguments later. This is not allowed. You have to first write non-optional or compulsory parameters, and then only you can write the optional parameters. I hope this clears the optional parameter concept. Before we conclude this video, let us revise the rules or important points for all types of function arguments. The first one is positional arguments are most commonly used, and keyword arguments can make the program more readable, especially with the functions with the multiple arguments. Names of keyword arguments must match, but they can be passed in any order. By default, Python functions can be called with positional arguments or keyword arguments as per caller's liking. However, they can be restricted to position only or keyword only arguments. The position only arguments, the one used before special character slash, are not commonly used, while keyword only arguments after the special parameter star are preferred in some cases, especially passing some sort of configurations or settings to the function. The keyword arguments must be given after positional arguments. This is applicable for function call, variable length args and corgs, and also position only or keyword only arguments. The variable length positional arguments args is internally a tuple, and variable length keyword argument quargs is internally a dictionary. The individual arguments has to be accessed using tuple and dictionary syntax. The optional parameters must be written after non-optional parameters in function header. While calling the function, passing optional parameters is optional. The caller may not pass them. Finally, no argument should receive a value more than once. You need to be careful, especially when you are using the keyword argument concept. In these two videos, we've seen various possible ways of passing arguments to the functions. Understanding these concepts will help you to write more readable and maintainable code. If you find this video useful, do like and share. You can also ask your questions into the comments. Do subscribe to this channel and also follow me on LinkedIn for more technical stuff. Thank you very much.